Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Danielle Daily. It is Friday. I am so happy to be here with you guys. It is another one of those Fridays where I'm feeling a little bit tired. I have a little story for you. I have today's note to self. We're going to be pretty brief today because I know on Friday afternoon you have other things you want to do besides being here on Facebook. You want to get out, enjoy your weekend. So I'm going to keep things pretty succinct today, but I always love to hear from you. If there's anything you want to put in the comments, I'd love to hear what your weekend plans are, what you've been up to today. Please put it in there for me and let me know how you're doing. So I'm Danielle Watson. This is the Danielle Daily. I promise that on the Danielle Daily, you will always find something positive, fun, or inspiring. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I've noticed, and that's that so many of us are such fierce overachievers that we have a hard time letting ourselves back off on something. Backing off is not easy for those of us who are very used to, when we feel like things are getting hard, redoubling our efforts. And it was interesting. I went to yoga class at lunch today and I just suddenly wasn't feeling all that well. Like I didn't have a lot of energy. My stomach didn't feel quite right. And I go to hot yoga classes. So normally you're kind of sweating buckets. And I noticed that I really wasn't sweating as much as I normally do. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. You know, I don't really feel all that great. And so my options are I could leave, I could do a little bit less, or I try to keep pushing myself to do as much as I always do. I pretty much figured out the reason I wasn't feeling my best was just I hadn't had enough water before I arrived there. And so I felt like my best option was to just stay in the room, but back off a little bit. And it was funny because the woman next to me, she was so sweet. She leaned over at one point and asked, "Are you okay?" Because she sees me practice on a regular basis and she knows what I'm capable of. And I wasn't doing any of the things that I'm normally capable of. I was very much backing things off, and she wanted to see if I was okay. And so at the end, I told her I was. And at the end of class, you know, as we were walking past each other, I said, yeah, you know, I just wasn't feeling my best today. I decided to back it down a little bit. And she looked at me and she said, you know, I have a really hard time with that. I have a really hard time letting myself just back off when I feel tired or fatigued or in any place in life where I feel like I'm doing too much. It's really difficult for me to back off, was what she was telling me. And I said, yeah, I completely understand that. It took me a really long time to learn that lesson. It looks like Elena is here, Bev is here, and Julio is here. Thank you so much for joining me. So if you're just joining, I'm Danielle Watson. This is the Danielle Daily. We're keeping things brief today because I know it's Friday and that you all have other things you want to be out and doing. But I did want to talk about backing off and why that's a winning strategy. And I just told a little story about how I was in yoga at lunchtime today, and the woman next to me was checking on me because I wasn't doing anything near what she knows I'm capable of and what I normally do, because I just wasn't feeling that well. And I think it's because I hadn't had enough water before I arrived there, and it is a almost 100-degree studio and we're doing all these yoga postures, and so I just had decided to back off. I'm very comfortable doing that. I've been doing yoga a long time. As many of you know, I used to teach, so I feel very comfortable just doing what I can do and not needing to do any more. And after our practice was over, as we were leaving, you know, I kind of let her know, hey, you know, I was just backing off because I didn't feel that well. And she said to me, you know, I have a really difficult time doing that. I feel very challenged by the idea of letting myself do less. I feel like I always need to perform at that same high level that I know I'm capable of. And I completely understood what she said, because how often do we all feel that way? Like we need to show up in our biggest, boldest, brightest, best all of the time, or somehow we're not good enough or we're not trying hard enough. And that's just not true. The strategy that I've developed for my yoga practice and in other areas of my life is that backing off is a strategy for my long game. So if I had gone all in and done everything I normally do today, I might wake up tomorrow and be like, I can't do anything today because I overdid it yesterday. And so for me, the strategy is I want to be able to continue to move forward, even if that means I'm moving forward at a slower pace. So I would much rather move forward consistently than have a kind of stop start. So doing it all and then having to stop because I overdid. I would much rather have that momentum going, even if it's going at a slower rate. So I'm curious, are you guys overachievers? Do you find that it's difficult for you to back off when you know that you're trying to do too much, to just cut yourself some slack and say, you know what, the most important thing to me today is to fight another day and not to end up killing myself by overtaxing myself? And I really feel like that's what the woman who was checking on me was expressing, was that she has a really difficult time allowing herself the knowledge that if she were to just back off and do a little bit less, it would allow her to fight another day, because she feels like, I have to do it all right now. So I'm curious, is that something you guys ever experience? Like I said, I'm going to keep things fairly brief today. I know that you want to get on with your Friday and your weekend plans. I'm curious, what kind of plans do you have? I'm going to give you the note to self momentarily here. So if you haven't already taken out your pen and paper or whatever you like to write it down with, go ahead and do that. It looks like no comments are coming in yet, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the note to self, and then, you know, we'll wrap it up unless you want to type something in, because I know it's Friday and we've all got things we want to do. So here is today's note to self. So it says, "Dear self, sometimes backing off is the best way to keep going." I wholeheartedly believe that. It has been a practice of a lifetime for me to remind myself over and over that what I really want is to keep going. And so sometimes in order to be able to keep going, it means I have to back off. It means I have to take a break and regroup. And so that is something that I want to share with you guys. So let me read it again in case you're writing it down. I hope you're writing it down. It says, "Dear self, sometimes backing off is the best way to keep going." Julio's saying he does have plans. So his plans are the Nutcracker high school production and then s'mores with the kids. Awesome. I love the Nutcracker. You know, I haven't gone to a high school production, but when I lived in California, we had a wonderful Nutcracker that would be put on every year in Sacramento, and it was just wonderful. I really enjoyed it. And then who doesn't like s'mores? You know, somebody recently introduced me to something quite evil that you may or may not thank me, Julio, for sharing this with you. But instead of putting the piece of Hershey's chocolate in there, you would do the graham cracker, the marshmallow, and then a Reese's peanut butter cup and another marshmallow. And so that adds the element of peanut butter to your s'more. I don't know if you're a fan of peanut butter, but that was evil. Somebody shared that with me, and that became my new sort of standard for s'mores. They now need to have a Reese's peanut butter cup in them. So I hope that somebody in your family is a peanut butter fan and will enjoy that. Julio says, yum, yay, yeah, give that a try. It's definitely good. And then something that I thought of but I haven't tried yet is putting a York peppermint patty in there. That might be really good too. I really love mint. I know it's a strong flavor and not everybody likes it, but I like the idea of sort of coming up with our own creative s'mores. It looks like Eric is here. Eric says, company holiday party at the National Portrait Gallery and hopefully a Hokie win in the ACC championship. Yes, Eric is our #1 Hokies fan. Go Hokies. The Danielle Daily Show is a fan of the Hokies. Elena Rosas says, happy Friday! We are going to see some Christmas lights in a park. Favorite time of the year, and oh my god, that sounds amazing. I need s'mores now. I think, Elena, you should probably text your husband and say, you and the baby need s'mores, and he had better stop by whatever the local convenience store is and get some things on the way home. So that's awesome. Let me know if you end up trying any of the variations and how you like them. Elena also says, now I really need s'mores. York peppermint patties are my favorite. I know that I cycle through different stages in my life where different things are my favorite, but in the winter it seems like anything with mint in it becomes my current favorite. So any other awesome plans, you guys? I'm about to sign off here so that you can get on with your day. I'm going to read the note to self one more time. Elena says yes. Eric says, tidbit of knowledge. York peppermint patties were from my hometown. Oh my goodness. So Eric is from York, Pennsylvania, and it turns out that that's not a random name, that York peppermint patties are actually named after where they came from. That's really cool. I did not know that. Okay, one last time with the note to self, and then I'll let you guys get on with your awesome weekend. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me here today. I so appreciate you guys tuning in. I love it when you share these broadcasts. It makes me so happy when I see the video has been shared, and I appreciate the hearts and the thumbs ups and all of the things you guys do, the contributions you make in the comments that make this show something that I'm excited to do every day. It's one of my favorite things to get on here and see which of my friends are going to be here, and who am I going to chat with, and what are we going to talk about, and what kind of wisdom are you guys going to impart on me. I come with an idea of what I want to talk about, but what you guys add to the conversation is so much more valuable than anything I have to say. I don't know, I feel pretty good about contributing the peppermint patty idea today. So maybe today is Danielle for the win. We'll see. Okay, one more time. Dear self, sometimes backing off is the best way to keep going. Please write that down, so the next time that you feel like you have to push through, that you have to keep going, you'll at least consider the idea that maybe what you really want isn't to do exactly what it is that you're feeling like you have to do right then, but what you really want is to be able to keep going. And so to manage your time, to manage your energy, to manage whatever it is that you're looking at in a way that allows you to continue to keep going the way that you want to. Because I don't know about you, I'm not really great at physics, but I do understand that it is much easier to keep something in motion than it is to take something that has stopped and put it in motion again. So think about that. I'm sure that's a principle in physics that I've long forgotten, but I hope that's helpful. And Julio says there's no music without pauses. That's beautiful. I'm going to write that down, Julio. Thank you. There's no music without pauses. You're right. Without the pauses, it would just be racket, right? It would just be noise and racket. So I love that. Thank you. Again, what you guys bring is so much more valuable than what I bring. So Julio for the win today. Thank you so much. Elena, I really hope that your husband brings you home some peppermint patties and all the other things that you'll need to make some s'mores. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me. I will see you again here on Monday. Until then, this has been the Danielle Daily. I'm Danielle Watson. I'll see you guys Monday. Love you. Bye. Mwah.